All right, hello and welcome to the House Party 5v5 Minor League Quarterfinals. Tonight we have a best of three between Euphyrium Gaming, Xfire Magenta, or Crossfire Magenta rather. I'm the Small Dog, and joining me here at this desk this evening is Declabase. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, and we are already jumping into this with some quick ban coming out. A very, very quick Rammus ban, actually, which begs the question, do you think they're going to go for more of a heavy AD comp coming over on this blue side? We do have EPG is going to be on the blue side here, and the Elise and Quinn being knocked out as well. Those are very dangerous picks.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Quinn, a very strong split pusher right now. Very decent AD carry with the changes to the AD. But Tom Kench banned away as well. One of the safest supports I've ever seen. Definitely needing to get that off the board.
One of the things about the Tom Kench, though, is he's super dangerous because he denies so many champions. Like, you can't play assassins against him.
Right.
You can't play things that have point-and-click CC, because if you CC his AD carry, he doesn't carry, he just eats him.
Rammus, a very important ban, one of the tankiest champions out there. Very good on ganks as well. A lot of the times, just those bush wards, when you're sitting in the bot lane, you can't necessarily just ward the tri-bush, because when he gets his boots and his Powerball ranked up, it's too much speed to really see coming. By the time you see him, it's a little bit too late. We see Soraka getting banned away as well.
Now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that EPG over here actually did not ban a third champion. I don't think that's a glitch in my client. I think they actually didn't ban a third champion. One thing to say, though, that last Soraka ban, assuming that's the last ban we did have, Soraka has been banned out a lot recently. I think she's a little bit less oppressive than she may have been at the beginning of this preseason, but she's still really strong because of the nerfs to the healing debuff from Grievous Wounds. It used to reduce healing by a large chunk for everybody. Now it only reduces self-healing. So Soraka and Sona and Nami are really, really good.
Yes, another support that I haven't seen a lot of, but I also think is very strong, is Alistar, which we do see the lock-in, going to be the Rek'Sai. However, I think Alistar could be a fairly strong pick. He provides a lot of CC as well as a good amount of healing and a massive tank. Ooh, but Braum as well.
Yeah, the thing about the Braum pick here is that it doesn't really show much, and we've seen him a lot today. We've seen him a lot recently. And I think we're going to keep seeing him in this AD carry, AD-centric meta that we're starting to develop here.
Very safe.
Exactly. And the Taric pick, and I'm actually very excited that Taric is becoming relevant again, particularly because he does have a rework that'll be coming up after the Poppy rework that's on the way.
Yeah.
So, but right now, he much like Rammus, becomes basically unkillable to an AD team comp.
Yeah, and definitely helping the AD carries stay alive, as well as all the other members of the team, if he's in range of them, providing so much armor. But Braum kind of does a similar thing with his shield. In addition to the armor, he gives magic resist as well. But I would actually rate Braum slightly ahead of Taric in the AD carry meta, just because he provides so much safety and backup for the supports, or for the AD carries rather, that they don't really have. But Thresh might be a little bit more on their agenda here. A very aggressive, good initiator.
Well, there goes my my thoughts on the full AD comp being thrown out.
It's okay.
Because
I like the Taric.
I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna pick Taric, and then they're gonna play like an AD mid laner, and then play a bunch. No, never mind. They just didn't want to see Rammus. Oh well, that's okay, I guess. Now we have to wait and see what's XFGM gonna do with this, because right now their team comp doesn't actually say anything, because I've seen people play Gragas mid again recently. He still is playable top lane, although not as much recently, and he's still a jungler. Braum is a support who fits into a lot of different team comps, so you're not really telling anything by picking a Braum support really early.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I picked like Sona or Morgana, so we're gonna be really aggressive. Ooh, the Lulu Lucian lock.
Yeah, that's a lot of safety for Lucian there. If he's able to get some kills and some damage, he's going to be pretty safe in these team fights. I mean, he already has a lot of mobility in his E, the additional movement speed that Lulu can provide, as well as, you know, all the resistance and health that they can give him, as we see Fiora and Tristana getting locked in. I really like the Fiora pick here.
He's sniped that Fiora pick. He went straight forward as soon as he had the pick open, and I have to agree. I really like the Aurelia pick. Now, the question is whether or not they're going to respond by picking something for that top lane, because the thing about Fiora is she's strong if she gets ahead. If she gets behind, she can't really do much, and oh no.
Yeah, that'll shut her down.
Oh no. Hello, Hecarim. So that's going to be a little bit more annoying, and unfortunately, as a viewer, you can't really afford to take teleport in a situation like this. So he's got to take Ignite, because if he loses his lane, teleport's not going to help him anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Fozzie might have been in a little bit of a tight position there. I mean, being second to last pick, obviously they did a great job of saving that Hecarim, or, you know, top lane for the last pick there. But I think Fiora will still do very well. I mean, the percent health damage with the extra damage or the extra health that Lulu is going to be providing, as well as how tanky this team is going to be for Crossfires. I think it's a really good pick.
Yeah, the thing I have with Crossfire's team comp is that they're really tanky, like you said. They're kind of a mid-game terror, because all of them have these power spikes that will be kind of lined up. Once Lucian gets a little bit of crit, plus having the Essence Reaver that he works really well with, that'll be dangerous. Once you see a little bit of AP coming in on Lulu, she does a lot of damage, and also has a lot of utility with the Wild Growth. And of course, if Hecarim gets ahead or even goes even, once he goes back to base and his teleport is up, always have to be afraid that he's going to teleport gank you, because if he gets on you, you're not getting away from him.
Yeah, definitely. And something I want to point out now that we're in the loading here, looking at the summoner spells, 3 ignites picked up in total. Hecarim going fairly aggressive in that top lane, but I think we're going to see a lot of explosion in this bot lane. Both supports opting to take the ignite instead of exhaust. I really think, you know, that this level 1 is going to be fairly interesting. Level 1, 2, and 3.
I think it'll be a little bit safer coming out from EPG's side, though, because the thing about Tristana is a lot of people are really scared of that early explosive charge, but it really doesn't do much damage at level 1. Like, it's kind of like igniting at level 1. Most people are like, oh, I'm ignited, I'm gonna die, but ignite at level 1 doesn't really do any damage whatsoever. You can maybe get a kill with it, but it's very rare.
It's extra pressure, though. I mean, it's damage that isn't normally there, so...
That's true, it's true.
We'll have to see if they're able to utilize it at all.
Right, and we did talk a little bit about Crossfire's team. Let's look at the EPG team comp, though, because if you look at them, they have, again, they also have some mid-game terrors. They have the power of having the Orianna ball. You can't just dive into this team comp, because then you're just walking into a situation where Orianna doesn't have to worry about placement of the ball. If you dive on them, they'll just kill you. You don't have to kill Lucian if you kill everyone around him. Tristana does a lot of damage and is better at taking towers than Lucian is, so they need to be careful about being pushed into their tower. If Artha can manage to do a lot of harassing down in bot side, showing some presence, and Blade of Thesis can't keep up, what that's going to end up turning into is Milky Way is going to be able to push with the Crimson Rage, get those towers, and then rotate around and get more towers, and there's not really much that Crossfire can do to stop them, because they don't have a team comp that can deal with it.
I definitely think a lot of the pressure is going to come from the junglers. Obviously, junglers being that one not stuck to a lane, going to be roaming around. But depending on what they're going to be doing this game, I think it's really going to influence the outcome of this mid game. Both junglers very good at early game skirmishes. I think a lot of their focus is going to be towards this bot side.
Well, we will find out as soon as we get on the Rift. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to be taking a quick break through the load screen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to House Party 5v5. We are in the second set of games today for the Minor League Quarterfinals, and we are already rolling into this one. We had some very interesting team comp picks, a lot of contested bans, things coming out, bans we didn't expect, and we'll see how this game is going to roll out. I am, of course, on color tonight. My name is Deck Club Ace. Joining me on play-by-play tonight is the Small Dog. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, and I'm interested to see how this level 1 plays out, because, I mean, you said that the Ignite doesn't do a whole lot of damage level 1, but I'm looking at Crossfires right now, and they look like they're out for blood.
Well, the thing is, at level 1, it does like 70 damage, so
That's
you
true.
very rarely will kill somebody with it. But if you use it on somebody who has heal, for example, say Milky Way, if he doesn't take his jump first, and you get on him, then there's not really much that will save you. Maybe your flash, but if everybody else flashes after you and they kill you, then it was worth.
Yeah, Crossfire's backing away. They did get some good wards in those, so they'll see if the duo lane starts a camp. Of course, that's not really a common thing you see right now. In fact, I've seen a lot of junglers start their buffs first.
A lot of times they start their buffs first because you start at like Gromp or Krugs, you'll take a lot of damage. But if you start at your buff, do one more camp, and then you go into your other buff, your smite's coming up and you're almost ready. Particularly if you start on the red side, you'll have, well, talking red side of the player's jungle,
Right.
You'll be doing that Gromp, you'll do blue buff, and then when you go to red buff, your smite's up, and smiting red buff gives you health, so that gives you the opportunity to gank. A lot of damage coming out here mid lane, coming from both of these guys.
That makes a lot of sense.
Speaking of damage, hello FaZe Clan. Enjoy those axes.
Fully noted. Doing a lot of damage, just taking the corruption potion as opposed to the Dorn's Blade of Fiora. So he's gonna have a bit of extra sustain.
I've spoken out against the corrupting potion. I personally don't really like it on most top laners and most mid laners that are building it. But that's mostly because it gives you a little bit more health, but I usually think that the stats are more valuable on, say, like, a Doran Shield start, a Longsword start. Trash Waifu getting called out.
Yeah, good hook. Gonna get a bit of damage onto Trash Waifu, but it's not gonna be too much. He's gonna heal back up with his 3 potions there. Shouldn't take too much.
Give him a decent amount, and he does have this Relic Shield, so he'll be able to generate a little bit of health as those stacks come back up. FaZe Clan at half health and already pushed into his tower. Not really a position you want to be in as Fiora. And slowly but surely.
Good job for the bot lane of EPG, getting that level 2 early on and pushing back so far. Decently even. No real leads anywhere just yet.
There isn't really a lead, but what they did manage to do is they wasted a little bit of time, and Trash Waifu did have to blow a potion, which means they are one potion up. Now this does put them in a good position though, because as we see, Blade of Thesis is just making it.
Nah, it's gonna be a hook as well as the flay onto Lucian. He's gonna take a good amount of damage. Braum trying to get his passive down. Not gonna do too much.
Unfortunately, just not quite able to get that. We do see both junglers have managed to get their buffs or are on their buffs. Artha now coming up behind, fully noted here.
Yeah, that's going to be the knock-up coming out, fully noted. Going to be in trouble, and that's going to be first blood. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, that's going to be Crimson taking the Ignite. He might be in a bit of trouble there. Lucian has to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage from those minions, and I don't know if Milky really needed to back out just yet.
Now, I do notice that Crimson actually does not have his flash. What probably happened was he probably flashed at the beginning of the game, and by accident. But what they did manage to do was, the only thing they spent was Milky Way's heal. Because Crimson didn't have flash, and Cornelius used both flash and heal to try and get that kill, and he didn't get it. He also has used his health pot, and as we see, Milky Way is still fully healthy. He's in Rage, pretty healthy. I mean, all things considered, he's been a punching bag here for quite a while.
And while all that was happening, Fiora able to pick up the Rift Herald, so gonna come back to that lane and really be able to push it in.
Now, Rift Herald is something we haven't actually seen a lot of people go for early, well, at least until the recent nerf to how much damage it does early.
Oh, yeah.
But it gives really good stats because it gives you nice bonuses to your pushing. It gives you very strong movement speed boost and also increases your damage by 10%. Blade Thesis here might be able to catch up FaZe Clan though.
Yeah, don't know if that
Fantastic.
Rift Herald go very far, but FaZe Clan doing okay for now, parrying very well, and he does have a friend now. That's gonna be the double knock-up Ignite down. Fiora''s gonna fall, and it might be a double kill. That's the flash out of Orianna just to be there to save Rek'Sai. So flash is burned.
It's very close. I think unfortunately FaZe Clan thought that he could fight, and he did have the exhaust, but unfortunately by the time he used it, he was already too low. Fully Noted was able to just pick that up with Ignite, could just burn him down to nothing, and it didn't really matter. Ooh, fantastic opening up for Rage.
Braum there to put out the shield, blocks that explosive charge, so mitigating the damage as much as possible, but Thresh doing very well landing these hooks on a priority target so far.
He has managed to land quite a few really good hooks. We'll see if that's actually going to be able to get him much more, because right now, if you look at the farm, it's pretty much even, and if you look at the actual minions there, it's going to be a little bit behind by the looks of it, assuming that Cornelius manages to get all of these, but that does mean that they're getting the levels, but they're not actually being able to do much with it. They've wasted all the potions, but there's not much else going on.
Crossfire, both solo laners and the jungler went back to base, each picked up a pink ward, so I'm really interested to see how they place these to give them good amount of vision. It looks like Greg is going to place it right into that pixel brush.
It's a very good spot to be moving it, and looks like he's gonna
Very
go in for a
aggressive
little
ward.
bit of a deep ward. Holy, this is really early for a red buff ward.
Yeah, and Rek'Sai might find a friend here. It does get the knock-up. Bladed Thesis has to be a little bit careful, putting back some damage, but that's going to be Tristana jumping forward. Now Thresh got out a little bit, but Bladed Thesis gonna go down. Milky Way gonna be the one to pick that one up. Teleports coming out on both sides. Orianna is 6, but no shockwave.
It looked like they managed to back off just in time. Explosion not quite able to get in range for that shockwave, and we did see the teleport coming up from Tainted Legacy, but he didn't actually let it finish. He canceled it, so his will be up sooner. He realized, correctly so, that he wouldn't be able to do anything in that fight. The fight was already pretty much over, so it was a good call. Meanwhile, in top lane, Fully Noted getting another solo kill on FaZe Clan.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that. Whew.
Managed to dive onto him with a decent bit of damage between the Phage and the Corrupting Potion.
Lane really kind of turning in Hecarim's favor now.
Lots of damage coming out on Tainted Legacy, but not quite able to return. Oh,
Hook landing, but nobody around to really follow it up. Crimson say, Crimson
he might be in
Rage.
danger.
Yeah, in a bit of trouble. Lulu is rotating down, but decides to stop for the blue buff. Ignite comes down onto Crimson Rage. Heal as well. Braum gonna take a bit of damage. I'm not sure why Lulu decided to go for the blue buff.
I think that they'd already done a lot to get the blue buff down really low. They were afraid maybe somebody was coming to steal it, but I agree. I think that they should have broken off the blue buff instead of wasting time trying to kill it, just gone straight for him. Oh, Fully Noted once again called out.
Yeah, that's gonna be Fiora ult going down, but Hecarim fairly speedy. He's gonna be able to make his way out of this one.
Didn't even have ult to get away. He just walked away.
Yeah, well, speedily walked away.
He galloped. It was a loving gallop.
Something to note about that blue buff is there was so much vision on the side of Crossfire. They had a ward entering both of the chokes of the red side here for EPG, and a pink ward in the pixel brush in the river. I don't think they should have been worried at all, but that's gonna be the farm alarm coming out. Shockwave not quite landing.
Did manage to get Thesis to run away, so they might potentially turn this into a dragon. I would be kind of surprised because they're surrounded on all sides.
Yeah. Crash Waifu looking for a little tap, but doesn't get it.
I mean, he could have. Zadie Carey was close by. He just decided he didn't want to. That's okay,
Yeah,
I guess.
Fiora without teleport, EPG going for a dragon would be a little too risky.
Oh, definitely.
Fully Noted could have just teleported down. on the backside.
That's one of the downsides of playing this Fiora in this matchup, because if you look, he's behind on farm, he's behind on kills, he doesn't have teleport, so there's not really much he can do.
That's going to be the hook coming out of Thresh, but that's the culling. A lot of damage down onto Tristana, but that Ox going to be able to there to defuse the situation. Ooh. Lucian's starting to deal some damage.
What are you doing? FaZe Clan, you can't win any of this. What are you doing?
Yeah, he's gonna parry, but that's gonna be the onslaught of shadows as well as the ignite. Actually trading the kill, not going down. FaZe Clan. Wow.
I stand corrected. Turns out if Fully Anointed doesn't pin his butt against the wall, you can proc that mark and kill him.
Rek'Sai, meanwhile, coming down towards this bot side, gonna get locked up by Braum's massive flash comes out of Lucian, keeping him safe, but that's gonna be the blast back from Tristana. Not getting either kill there, and all three members actually go very low in this bot side.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we did see Artha popped his flash and didn't get anything for it, so not only did they not really get anything, they also wasted some resources they could have used elsewhere. FaZe Clan did manage to get a kill there, but he only managed to just catch up and farm. That does mean that he's going to be a little bit behind once this wave reaches the tower, but did manage to pick himself up this Tiamat and the Vamp Scepter for a lot of extra gold. Or a lot of extra damage.
Really important. Fiora, kind of a snowbally champion, and I feel like if she gets too far behind, she doesn't have a huge effect on the game.
I have to say, I really like the early focus on that boots. I correct myself, she didn't actually pick up the Tiamat, she had that when she killed him. But she picked up the longsword and the boots, and the thing is, she already realizes that you can't catch Hecarim, but you need the extra speed to get around so that you can proc those marks.
Trash Waifu getting caught out by a hook. That's going to be a good amount of damage. Culling coming out. Not going to do too much. No.
It does a little bit of damage to Crimson Raid, but not too much.
Yeah, Trash Waifu needs to be a little more careful trying to get those wards on the chokes. Actually using all of his wards here. I would actually much prefer seeing that ward a little closer to the tribe, but meanwhile top lane, that's going to be the ult out of Fiora and Hecarim, keeping him safe, but that might be tainted going down here. Ooh, Shockwave
Very
already
close.
used.
Saved by the wild growth health. Now they both use theirs. Oh, Bladed Thesis is here.
Yeah, Fiora gonna try to go one last ditch effort for the kill, but that's actually fully noted coming back. Flash comes out of FaZe Clan. He might be
able to get away
here.
And he's safe.
He does get away.
Wow,
Flash?
that was a very good flash. And they did manage to get Dragon off this too.
And Bladed Thesis had his flash. He could have gone for that, but deciding not to be greedy and not getting a kill top lane and losing Dragon. That's a big win for EPG.
You know, I almost think that that Crossfire is being too safe with their summoners, but EPG is being the opposite. They're just using them constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh man, you know, I could use my flash here, but I don't really want it to be used for just this one kill. Oh, but they're getting Dragon. And they knew that they were getting Dragon, because they have a ward over there.
Yeah.
And there's not a tower to get or anything. Actually, that's a good question. That's a good question. Why didn't Bladed Thesis continue?
I honestly don't know. I noticed he had flash, but he just decided not to go for it. Maybe the parry is what he was worried about. However, parry a decently long cooldown. As we see Rek'Sai looking towards his bot side, Lucian might be in a bit of trouble. That's going to be the heal coming out as well as the Glacial Fissure. Hook goes wide, but Lucian does end up falling. Trash Waifu now left, flashes, but does not make it away. That's going to be 2 kills for EPG.
Talk about value, managing to finally get paid for that that gank that he's been doing here. Lots of damage coming out in the trades, but FaZe Clan is falling behind in that trade simply because Fully Noted has realized I probably shouldn't press my E.
Yeah, Fully Noted looking for another fight. Exhaust does go down, and Fiora might actually have this one again. Ignite, not quite enough damage, and that's going to be another kill picked up. 3, 2, and 0.
I like to think that this is judgment. first starting with the corrupting potion instead of starting with some stats, because the sustain and the bonus damage it gets from that dot just isn't enough anymore. And you have to remember, when he presses Q, the dot is half as effective as it normally is because the Q is an AoE.
Right.
So while he's spinning around, rampaging, doing all kinds of damage, it's actually weaker than if he just auto-attacked him.
Ooh, Lulu taking a bit of damage. We did see she picked up the Rod of Ages, so trying to stack up and gain a little bit of extra health. But, ooh, that's going to be the shockwave out of Orianna. Wild growth to keep Lulu alive. Tainted running away.
I don't know if I would call that worth. I think that the shockwave is more valuable than the
I would
growth.
agree.
And I guess maybe
cooldowns.
Oh, hello. Nice flash.
Ooh, yes, good flash.
It was an interesting flash. He still got hit by the damage from Hecarim, but he got pushed the other way.
Similar to like Alistar Headbutt, if you flash it at just the right time, it'll still go off and push you just in a completely different direction.
And just clearing out some vision here. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess they're wanting to maybe dive this tower, but fully anointed, realizing now that probably shouldn't really stay top lane anymore. His tower's gone. He's already taken the other tower, so why not? Let's go somewhere else. What's Fiora gonna do? Stop me?
Yeah, and I think this is actually a good call by Crossfire, getting a lot of vision in that jungle, being able to pick up this bot turret, and Lulu might actually be able to defend this fairly effectively. As I say that, she takes pretty much half her health.
That's true, and we do see right now FaZe Clan is roaming up to go get that red buff, realizing that there are 4 members of Crossfire bot lane. And Martha getting hit by Trash Waifu here, having to tunnel away, just easily safe. No problem. It looks like the 5-man Goon Squad has roamed to mid lane to get this turret. It's only got a third of its health bar left, so there's not really much they can do to stop it.
I really want to see what Crossfires does, because I keep mentioning this vision, but they've used so many resources on this bot side. I want to see what their plan is to play around that.
Well, you say that, but like they've had this vision for a good chunk of the game, and they haven't actually used it for anything.
That's true.
Like, Artha has managed to come down and get summoners and kill Cornelius, and get a kill on Trash Waifu. They managed to get the tower bot lane, and this is all while they're losing in the vision game in bot side.
Bladed Thesis in a bit of trouble. That's going to be a Glacial Fissure on the backside with Onslaught of Shadows. Milky Way needs to be a little bit careful, but he does end up getting the kill. Only one going down. Hook. Oh, so close so many times.
More
Not
importantly,
quite landing.
The downside to that dive was since the rest of his team didn't commit to it, Fully Anointed ended up just feeding the entirety of EPG a decent heal from the Fiora ult that went off. So Milky Way was almost dead, but now he's at half health.
Hook lands onto Lulu. Outgrowth pops, keeping Lulu alive, but red buff not quite enough to take him down.
You get really close though.
A kill and a turret picked up. And potentially Rift Herald?
They could do it. I believe in them, but I don't think they want to do it. I think they're gonna play the safe bet. Just go clear some waves out, push things up, get some stuff, and then go buy with all that gold they just got. Now, I do want to take a brief look at these items, though, because if you see, right now, Fiora has a Ravenous Hydra and is building that Caulfield's Hammer into the Black Cleaver. Fully Anointed doesn't have a Triforce yet. He opted to get the Alacrity before he upgraded his other items. I really disagree with that, because the 20 bonus move speed is not worth the Triforce proc.
Yeah. Something interesting that I see out of Crossfire is they by far have bought so many more pink wards, as we see Rek'Sai going aggressive. Crimson Rage not landing the hook. Ooh, going over Rek'Sai.
Did force the smite out of Rek'Sai. They wanted to give it to Oxblazer, but unfortunately.
Crossfire by far more pink wards, but they haven't been placing the vision where they need it. They've tunneled so much vision into that red side jungle of EPG, but didn't benefit from it much at all. I'd say they got a bot turret and a slight push on the mid lane, but I don't really feel like it was that worth. However, on the other side, EPG really kind of placing the wards where they need them in these chokes here.
Now, I would like to point out, though, you do mention the wards and the vision game, and until just now, where Cornelius swapped out his trinket as well for the Farsight Totem upgrade, it's very interesting because if you look on EPG, ooh, Artha getting called out here by a lot of damage.
Yeah, Artha gonna get stunned up, Culling coming through, Onslaught of Shadows as well, but fully noted, gonna take so much damage here. Wild Growth pop just to keep him alive, but that's a 3-man Shockwave. Gonna be one picked up, another one for, gonna be Rek'Sai, and that's just gonna be the ace. Fazak Clan going crazy in that fight.
So I gotta give props to, I gotta give some props here to FaZe Clan. That was a fantastic Fiora dive, because if you actually notice what ended up happening, he put his ult, and normally you'd question this, because like he threw his ult on Cornelius, who was all the way ahead of him, but he ended up going straight for the Trash Waifu. So he dives in, or sorry, not Trash Waifu, he went for Tainted Legacy. So he dives in, gets the Q proc to be able to get a little bit more speed boost because of the Phage. Very, very awkward.
Yeah.
And, uh-oh, goodbye.
Fully noted coming through, but he's gonna get slowed down. Like you were saying, though.
Anyway, like I was saying, so he used his ultimate on a target who was further away from him, but because he was able to reset the cooldown, he got close enough to proc his ultimate, which let him heal to turn around and get another kill.
Yeah, very well played by FaZe Clan.
But once again, fully noted, diving in without his team. Like, his team is there, but they're not really there.
And I'm trying to figure out what exactly Crossfire was thinking, because they didn't really have vision to support that. Fully noted, gonna get hooked up. Wild Growth to keep him alive, but that's gonna be a knockup as well. Speed, just enough to get fully noted out of dodge there. Hook landing onto Gragas now. Bladed Thesis gonna get his body slam canceled, but there's Lucian in the Culling. 3-man Shockwave again. Orianna completely on point, but that's going to be a knockup from Rek'Sai. Hook coming out, and Milky Way going to pick up one. Dashes forward, doing a lot of damage. That crit.
That was a 4v5, okay? Fiora isn't here yet. She's now here. She's at full health. She just spent all of that gold that she got. And you guys just lost to only 4 members.
Yeah.
That doesn't bode well.
Cornelius really thinking he could turn that around, but not quite.
Fantastic ultimates, though. Did see, once again, and you said in the middle of the fight, Oxblazer, another 3-man Shockwave, and that managed to not only disorient the team, but got them all low enough to where they didn't want to fight anymore, and that meant the Trash Waifu was an easy kill. He can't get away from her.
Second inhibitor picked up in this game for EPG. Looking very strong, 10k ahead, but now fully noted. Caught out again.
Rest in peace. And that's going to be the Baron. Lucian
Yeah,
currently has to
Thesis.
stay bot lane.
Thesis really looking for this one. Good hook by Crimson Rage. This Baron not quite going down as fast as you would expect.
Well, it is at 23 minutes.
That is true. Bladed Thesis is around here looking for the Smite steal. He's also got the explosive cast, a lot of damage, and that's going to be him coming through, but the Smite goes over to EPG, and that's going to be another kill picked up. Now, Rek'Sai on a mission, going through tunnels.
Almost
touch anything
close.
That's the teleport though from Orianna. She goes to the base, gonna look for another kill here. Trash Waifu gonna end up going down, and now Lulu looking to make her way out. Flash Shockwave! Oh my goodness, Ox Blazer gonna pick up another kill. I've never seen that.
Okay, no. I have to correct you there. That wasn't a Flash Shockwave. That was a Shockwave Flash.
What did I just see?
In case you blinked. Oh, well, in case you blinked, Thresh is dead. In case you blinked, Oxblazer activated Shockwave and flashed over the wall. That is the only time I've ever seen somebody do that successfully without screwing it up.
Oh my goodness. That was incredible to watch. Congratulations to EPG. Wow.
All right. Well, game 2 will be coming up here soon, and that was a crazy game. Looked like it was kind of even for a while there, but then EPG just kind of snowballs it ahead. Fiora was behind, but got some kills and just destroyed Hecarim. All right, guys. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. I am the Small Dog, and rejoining me here is Clubase as we get back into our best of 3 series between Euphorium Gaming and Crossfire Magenta. I really hope I'm saying that right. I keep forgetting. Euphorium.
It's okay. It's okay. It's weird because like when I heard somebody tell it to me, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's Euphorium Gaming." I'm like, but it doesn't even look like Euphorium. Why would you say that? And yes, it is Euphorium Gaming, you're right. And they just came off of quite a win, so I think they'll forgive us for saying their name wrong. Because talk about carrying some like crazy Fiora, crazy Orianna plays.
It was so crazy. I'm a little lost for words here as to what I just witnessed, but we do see bans coming out for XF here. Gonna ban away the Rek'Sai as well as the Thresh. I think it's probably needed for this game.
You know, it's reasonable, yeah. I also would either expect a Fiora ban or a really early Fiora pick. I don't expect them to let Fiora go over to the other side this time. If they do, question is, does FaZe Clan have something to play against it?
Yeah. One thing, though, to note is Rek'Sai getting banned away. However, Elise is left up. I mean, what do you really value more, the Elise or the Rek'Sai? I honestly, I think they're about the same. I would give it a little more to the Elise.
I think it depends on the kind of team comp that you want to play, though. Oh, the
true.
Kindred ban. Now there's something I haven't seen in a while. Locking in the Elise. I like to think that if they're gonna take Fiora here, that they gave the Elise over really early, just because they're like, oh, you could have it. We'll just use our first pick for 2 value champions for us. You see the Elise in hovered here.
Yeah, the Fiora's up, so FaZe Clan can pick that up if he wants to.
I don't know if he wants to pick it up this early, though, because it can still be counterpicked if you know what you're doing. And yes, Fiora does have some counters, whether or not you believe me.
Yeah, and FaZe Clan...
It might be hard to believe, but she does have counters.
FaZe Clan getting last pick this time, so I think they're probably just going to wait it out and let him decide what he wants to play in that top lane. As we see the Nautilus and Tristana getting locked in, I really like the Nautilus pick right now. A lot of the mobile carries, he's very good at locking down those mobile carries, what I'm trying to say.
Let me tell you about my love for Nautilus, because I loved him as a jungler, and then he became a support, and I was like, a support that I really love to play. And then they came out with Tom Kench, and they were like, you must want to play support. Have some more supports that you love to play. So Nautilus is fantastic, because he's one of those champions who, like, be really defensive with him. You could say, oh, you know, if you jump on my carry, I'll just peel you off of him. Alternatively, much like a Thresh, be super aggressive and just throw your hooks constantly and make them rue the day that they fooled with the anchor.
I definitely like that about Nautilus. I mean, one thing about Thresh is you can play him more utility-based, but you lose out so much by not using his initiation skills. And, of course, missing the initiation skills, a lot of value lost. But Nautilus, a lot of other abilities other than just those initiation skills. He's got, like you said, a lot of tankiness. And then once he hits 6, that point and click, just AoE CC is so huge, especially with Milky Way picking Vayne. It's really going to help lock her down. Ryze getting locked in as well.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention was the Ryze got picked up, and we did see that Crimson Rage hovered over that Fiora for a little bit, but the Ryze got picked up. Now the question is that going to be a Ryze mid, and it was to bait out? That's what it's looking like. It might have been used to bait out something that somebody might consider as, oh, you know, maybe I'll just play this Ryze top lane. Maybe you should pick something that counters Ryze top lane. looks like that is indeed what it's going to be. And this time, FaZe Clan opting for, instead of that exhaust, which honestly didn't really seem to do much for him, there weren't many situations where it helped him, he is going to opt for this teleport instead. Oh, they're just going to be swapping around. That's rude, guys. Looks like it could be Fiora mid. I mean, I've seen it played every once in a while, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
I was gonna ask. I don't know a whole lot about these top lane matchups. What do you think about the Fiora into Irelia if we get that? Let's just play out that scenario for right now.
Yeah, so if you're up against the Fiora Irelia lane, right? So the thing about the Fiora Irelia lane is if Irelia tries to go in and Fiora has more health, he tries to stun her, she has a long animation, relatively speaking. Long, and they did do the last second swap.
So true.
True enough, he maybe eat my words. He took the exhaust anyway. I hate you, FaZe Clan. I love you, but I hate you. So the thing about the matchup is that if Fiora is dove on and she tries to use the Equilibrium Strike to stun, it could blow up in his face because it does have a relatively long animation, and it's a very obvious animation.
Right.
So it's very easy to riposte it. It's not like, say, riposting, I don't know, like a Taric stun that's at point blank range, or like a Mumu's ultimate, or even some of the other stuff that people throw at you. You can repulse pretty much everything.
Right.
You just have to know when to use it. Now, I'm not sure how it's going to go back and forth. It's really going to depend on who gets the lead, because if Fiora gets the lead, then Irelia has to be really defensive. But if Irelia gets the lead, Fiora just needs to wait for an opportunity to poke down, because Fiora's sustain is okay, but it's not that great compared to the amount of damage that FaZe Clan can put out in a short span of time. Now, enough about the top lane. We can briefly touch on this mid lane, which is going to be Ryze versus Orianna.
This should be fairly interesting. Ryze taking that teleport. That's actually going to be the only teleport in the game. Really, they're only map pressure, but I mean, Ryze with teleport, that's a lot of map pressure.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've seen a number of times is people play Ryze, but they'll still bring the teleport when they play him mid lane. And the reason for that is that it's a very good summoner on him. It does allow him to do a little bit of roaming on a champion who normally doesn't roam very well. And more importantly, Ryze by himself, his early game is kind of okay, I guess, but once he gets to that mid to late game, he becomes really hard to kill, and he does a lot of damage in a short span of time. And he has a team to help him, because he has the Braum, once again, crazy Braum. We did see it a little bit last game. They weren't playing it, they were playing against it, but Braum is very useful. And they had the Lee Sin this time. And Lee Sin, early game is going to do a decent amount of damage, and then he's going to transition into this, like, really utility kick man in the late game, where he's going to try and single out somebody and kick him into the team.
Yeah. And Tainted Legacy picking up the Orianna. I mean, we saw Ox Blazer play it last game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he played the Orianna, the Flash Orianna with Shockwave.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now. I was coming down from that, but Ox Blazer playing that phenomenally. We'll have to see how Tainted Legacy is able to pick that up, taking the exhaust for a little extra safety in that mid lane. I honestly cannot blame him.
I can't blame him either. We'll find out whether or not that's actually going to help him out soon here. We're going to be taking a short break during the load screen. Guys, stay tuned. We got an exciting game coming up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome to the Summoner's Rift once again. Here we are, and we have on the blue side here, Crossfire Gaming. On the red side, once again, is Euphorium Gaming, and they just came off of quite a win. They've got a pretty strong team comp here, and once again, they've got FaceClan on that Fiora. Let's see what he can do with that, see if we can pull some more magic. And I am, of course, Declabase, doing your color for you this evening, and joining me tonight is the Small Dog on Play-by-Play. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well. I'm very anxious to see how this series turns out. Again, we see both the supports taking that Ignite. And honestly, I like to see that. I like to see the extra aggression. You see them battle it out a lot more in that bot lane. Or at least it feels that way to me.
Yeah, I think very often we'll see people go for the safe bot lane. They wanna farm into this mid game. They want to play champions like Kog'Maw and Vayne, and they want to be safe. And sometimes that's just not very exciting to watch. You don't want to watch like, oh, he goes in for an auto attack and then he backs up, and then he goes in for another auto attack and he backs up. No, we want to see like, let's fight, let's throw each other into walls, let's use the anchor and drag somebody to their death into the depths.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, like I'm happy to see with Milky Way be okay with, you know, Braum taking that Ignite. Of course, Vayne, I've seen her play a lot more aggressively early on, recently. In the past, it was just like, every time I'd solo queue with a Vayne, it'd feel like, you know, they just not want to do anything. They'd be like, constantly pinging me to be careful because they want to farm until late game.
Right, and I think that's kind of just how Vayne has developed, because if you think about it, back in like Season 3, Season 4, when you did see a Vayne every once in a while, if you played against something that was like tanky or something, the reason that she would be so farm-oriented was you wanted to be able to get that really, really early damage out. You needed to be able to get those items, because if you didn't have them, you literally couldn't do anything. Some crazy trade coming out of FaceClan. One thing that you'll see a lot of Fiora players do actually is if they don't need to get a CS and the Duelist Smart goes on the wrong side, they'll just back out of vision range and then come back to reset the position of the mark.
Ah, that's very interesting.
If you've ever seen them doing that, that's why they do it.
Huh.
Pretty much just farming across the board. If you look in the top side, there's quite a lead right now in terms of CS. I know that like an 8 CS lead doesn't seem like much, but that's an 8 CS lead this early in the game. You've missed an entire wave of CS.
Yeah, she does have a few extra minions that she's gonna be able to pick up, but even so, missing out a little bit.
It's okay. And bot side, both of them hitting. Oh, unfortunately missed. FaceClan getting called out here.
Crimson Rage, gonna say it was calculated.
Oh man,
it was
funny because FaceClan gets caught out and he's just like, I'm just gonna dash away. There's not really much you can do to stop me. Ooh. A little bit of damage string out going on the mid side, and we do see the junglers kind of butting heads for a little bit there in that mid side river.
Tainted Legacy trading back fairly well in that mid lane. Of course, Oxblazer gonna be scaling up as we see Bladed Thesis gonna be in a bit of trouble. Repel comes out, but there's nowhere to go. Gonna have to repel back down as Flash comes out. Bladed Thesis will be okay. A little stutter step there.
It's okay, Bladed Thesis managing to get that flash off. Unfortunate that he had to use it, but hey, it's better than dying this early on, because if you die to Fiora this early, that's gonna seal the game for Aurelia. There's not really much that she can do at that point.
Very well played by the rest of PG, not using their flashes and, you know, getting too greedy for a 200 health Elise.
Yeah, I mean, they could have killed her maybe, but then they might have died to Aurelia, and they don't really want to feed Aurelia in the same way that Crossfire doesn't really want to feed Fiora, so it's a little bit of safe plays on both sides. Both mid laners doing a lot of damage here, and out of mana, FaceClan move on.
Yeah, FaceClan gonna have the Ignite down. Flash comes out from Fully Noted, but he's not in auto attack range. We see Artha going aggressive in this red side jungle. Caution pings coming out. We see Nautilus roaming towards mid lane.
Ooh, this is dangerous for Crimson Rage. He's in a bad spot. Don't bring that bomb right over to your AD carry.
I've done that way too many times.
the worst part is whenever you do it, not realizing that you have the bomb on your head, you're just like, oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You just took so much damage because I'm a moron. Or like running towards your AD carry. It's like, wait, why are you running away from me? Oh, I've got a bomb on my head, I'm sorry. But FaZe Clan managing to barely survive there. Lose a little bit of CS to the tower, but he's caught the rest, I guess. Seeing items being picked up here, fully noted, opting to get that pickaxe. I like to think that his early issues were because he took the corrupting potion, and FaZe Clan took a Doran's blade, so his trading was stronger.
Yeah, I mean, he does pick up the pink ward as well. I have a fairly strong opinion on getting these pink wards. You would probably want to place that before you actually get to lane, because after you come to lane with a pink ward in your inventory, as soon as the laner sees that, or literally anybody on the map sees that missing from your inventory, they know it's been placed. But that's going to be the cocoon landing onto Crimson Rage. He's going to be able to jump back, get himself to safety. Very nice
Did
cocoon.
take a lot of damage, though. Didn't have to use Slash, though. Good on him. Fully noted, did manage to beat FaZe Clan to level 6. A lot of that is because... Oh, very nice.
Yeah, FaZe Clan taking quite a bit of damage. Fully noted, looking towards just picking up that farm. We see Artha making his way up here.
FaZe Clan not quite going to be level 6 yet. He's still got quite a ways to go. He's needed at least the rest of this wave to go off. That's what
FaZe
happens.
Clan really trying to bait this one. Dora does not have Ignite back, or I'm sorry, Irelia does not have Ignite back up. As FaZe Clan does go in, there is Artha getting the slowdown, but Sonic Wave not going to land.
He's just trying to get to level 6. FaZe Clan just wants to... Alright, looks like they're just going to clear out this ward here. And, well, Fully Noted does not have teleport at all, so looks like there's just going to be a whole lot of damage going on. Uh-oh.
Ult out of Ox Blazer, but that's going to be the exhaust. Stop him dead in his tracks.
You know, I like that he used the exhaust, but at the same time, I think that it was a little bit... It was either too early or too late, because at that point, Oxblazer didn't have any more of his combo available, and at the same time, he also had already used spells, so you were negating damage. Like, you didn't actually negate anything.
Throughout the whole series, I mean, Tainted Legacy has had his struggles in this mid lane. Oxblazer really just out farming and out bullying him. I mean, even on this champion that's more oriented towards the mid and late game, he's still able to bully Orianna out. Of course, Orianna not necessarily the best early game champion herself.
Okay, I have to, being the critical person I am, I have to say, Tainted Legacy, you have misplayed horribly. You bought a tier in a situation where you would have been better suited buying a Grail. Because right now, he's losing trades, and he has a tier. He's not going to get any damage anytime soon. Rise gets damage from having mana. So, for him, he benefits building the tier. You don't.
Right.
Uh-oh. Elise hanging up topside. FaZe Clan is at half health. Ooh,
Cocoon
fantastic.
gonna land. FaZe Clan gonna be in a bit of trouble. Pops the ult, but that's not gonna be enough. And that's first blood over to Bladed Thesis.
It was unfortunate. Like, I knew what was gonna happen. Is it was like, oh no, and then he didn't use exhaust, and he should have used exhaust, but he probably didn't know which target to use it on.
Oh,
So
which
his tower's
target do
gonna
you
take
use it on? I mean, they
Well, in
both
this
do a
situation,
good
he
amount
used
of
it on
damage.
Irelia.
Okay.
Well, because if he immediately, as soon as he got hit with a cocoon, like, he could use exhaust.
Ooh, Tainted Legacy gonna pop the shockwave, locking up Oxblazer, but he's gonna pick up a kill, trying to get away now. Bladed Thesis gonna get snared. That's gonna be the bite coming through, picking up the kill. However, Artha gonna be here. That's the flash out from Bladed Thesis. I don't know what he was thinking, but Sonic Wave connects and he goes down. 2 for 1.
The worst part is that he flashed into a bush where the Braum was, and he knew Braum was there because he had a ward in the bush. So I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that was unfortunate. It was a good dive. It was good. He might have been able to live if instead of flashing that way, if he flashed the other way. But no, unfortunately.
But I think he flashed before the second proc. As we see, though, the ult from Lee Sin, as well as the Condemn Ignite coming down, and Milky Way gonna pick up that kill.
Oh man, tried to get that depth charge out, maybe managed to get a little bit of extra damage, but didn't live long enough to even start casting it, so not quite what he wanted there. I think FaZe Clan is being a little bit bullied here. Little bit. I say a little bit because for the most part, he's doing fine. It's just he keeps taking a lot of damage whenever he gets ganked or whenever his trade starts. You're fine.
Heal gonna be popped. Crimson Sage might be in trouble now, though. Bladed Thesis. They got some damage down, but that's going to be the stun onto Bladed Thesis. Milky Way flashing back, putting back a good amount of damage.
Hello,
Ox Blazer has teleported behind, and that's going to be the shutdown for Vayne, and now Cornelius just left on his own.
That was unfortunate. That was so sad to watch, because like, yeah, we got the kill, and oh, no we don't. Oh, we're in the wrong spot. Oh, where'd the rise come from?
Ooh. Flash out of Tainted.
Trash waifu, just walking through, not seeing Milky Way. Thing too, because I actually think you could probably kill Milky Way.
I think Oxblazer could probably kill him as well. Oriana there to deter any further engages.
It's okay, and we do see the Catalyst being picked up by Oxblazer. Probably going to go for that nice Rod of Ages, gives him a lot of tankiness. And,
a lot of damage. Eventually.
I'm kind of confused. What's Tainted Legacy doing with that Sapphire Crystal?
Maybe he's just copying Ryze's build.
Yeah, I'm just like, what is he doing?
Got a little ahead of himself, I guess. As we see Trash Waifu gonna be in a lot of trouble. That's gonna be the depth charge, but it doesn't go off. The
stun
cancels it, but that's gonna be the stun. Cornelius goes down as well. I was trying to figure out what happened there. It was the stealth that canceled the depth charge. As we see FaZe Clan gonna pick a fight top lane, fully noted, doing a lot of damage, but that's gonna be a kick from Lee Sin, and that'll be the kill.
I really like what FaZe Clan did there because he actually baited really hard. Because he dove. Uh-oh, Tainted Legacy, goodbye.
Yeah, Oxblazer doing a lot of damage. Gonna lock Tainted Legacy up for one last time. As Elise makes her way mid, but nothing she can do. All of the laners dead now.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think. I'm still in this moment of what's going on because I'm like, what is he doing with it? Okay, he's literally copying the build.
Yeah.
He just built a Catalyst. Buddy, you need some MR really bad. Like we're getting solo killed by Ryze. You need some magic resist really hard. Oh man.
I'm not sure what to say about that, but both supports, great vision coming out from EPG around this dragon. Might actually look to start it up here. Or I'm sorry, that's
Crossfire, yeah.
Crossfire.
They did start it up, but it looks like EPG is gonna finish it.
Yeah. Crimson Rage. Gonna zone a little bit here. Oxfire gonna try to catch up with Trash Waifu. Waifu not quite gonna throw the anchor. Does get over to the wall. Milky Way pops the final hour, but not gonna get anything.
I mean, I guess, you know, it's got a relatively short cooldown. May as well use it. I mean, it's a 100-second cooldown, and you really, like, people talk about wasting it, but you don't actually use it all that often. Basically, coming in with this buff here from the Herald.
Ooh, they both do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind, that was a winning trade for FaZe Clan, and he's a level behind.
True.
Did lose his tower, though. Kind of unfortunate. But you know, this is still the same thing that happened last game, though. FaZe Clan was behind at first, and then he suddenly was ahead for some reason.
He suddenly wasn't.
He was behind, and then he wasn't, and everything was fine. Now, one thing, though, is that difference in this game, every other one of his lanes and the jungle are ahead. Bot lane is quite ahead. They're even on CS, but Milky Way having 4 kills is going to be hard to deal with. He does already have that Static Shiv, and he's got the Zeal. Probably going to be building up into, well, I guess we'll see, but it could be anything from the Rapid Fire Cannon we've seen to, I don't know, maybe like a Phantom Dancer, whatever he wants, whatever he's feeling like building.
Ooh,
oh,
flash
goodbye.
out of Ox Blazer, as well as the kick from Lee Sin. It's going to be the Shockwave, but it's not quite going to be enough. Ox Blazer getting his 4th kill of the game. He's fully loaded.
You know, I don't even know why Tainted Legacy even bothered using Shockwave, because
not fully noted.
Like at least if you still have it up when you spawn, you'll be able to use it if they try and gank you again, like when you have a better position. Oh, he managed to actually get a smite. Good job, Bladed Thesis.
But something I've noticed, I mean, this game and last game, and I don't mean to harp on about it, but Crossfire, they use so much resources in terms of vision around that dragon. They start the dragon and then don't secure the dragon. All of that resources they put in towards, you know, getting vision around the dragon, they could have just used to farm and play safe.
You say harping on it, but like I totally agree with you, okay? Because, and I mentioned it at the end of the game, and I briefly mentioned it in the chat whenever I was talking about stuff between the load screens. But Crossfire is spending so much on this vision, and they're not actually doing anything with it. Goodbye, Cornelius.
Yeah,
oh, nice
but
bomb,
that's going to be a trade back kill, and he's actually going to be able to make it out. Heal as well as the rocket jump.
Wow. Barely survived. All right, Cornelius, you get a pass for now.
Very well played, Cornelius. I think I think that may have been some amount of luck, but now Tainted Legacy again getting locked up, flashes away. But that's something you can't do too often.
You know, Tainted Legacy, if you had Shockwave there, you might have been able to kill Ox Blazer, because you'd have been able to Shockwave into your tower, but you didn't.
Bladed Thesis now looking for Ox Blazer. Gonna take a lot of damage though, but that should be enough.
It's okay. He died, but he died doing what he loves. Crimson Rage looks like he might have disconnected, was just kind of spamming auto attacks on that tower.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate there.
It's okay. We do see a little bit of vision being blown around this area. Looks like they might want to secure this tower, and I can't blame them. This lane is losing. Probably their hardest lane losing right now, because he's not even equal on farm like bot lane is.
But Fiora took a long time getting back to top lane, really not presenting any pressure. And now with that kill lost bot lane, Crossfire is gaining a lot of ground back.
I think it's a little bit of not using advantages that they have, because if you look right now, like, while we've seen a lot of kills coming out from EPG, they haven't actually gotten any towers with it. They only just got a tower, and that was FaZe Clan, and FaZe Clan was losing his lane.
Right.
So, which this happened last time as well. He lost his tower, and then he turned around and got the other tower, and said, haha, now my lane is pushed up, I can go somewhere else, I don't need teleport. So maybe he'll go somewhere else and go camp Rihanna, I don't know. Kind of a lull. Dragon spawning in another minute here. Baron going to be replacing the Rift Herald in 1:10. And not really sure if there's going to be any pushes for that like there was last time. We did see a really early Baron attempt last time, and that was a little bit unusual. I guess teams aren't usually that far ahead.
Vayne gets the turret in the bot lane, already securing, or already buying the Static Shiv as well as the Rapid Fire Cannon. She's going to be a bit better at sieges. I really kind of like Rapid Fire Cannon. I think it really helps Vayne out a lot.
I agree on one condition, and I don't like what he did with it right now. Normally, you go this build, he has the BF sword now, but what you do is, between your Static Shiv and your Rapid Fire Cannon, you build a BF sword, with the intent of building it into like an Infinity Edge, or a Bloodthirster, or something. Because if you build these two items, you have built 0 damage.
Right.
So, sure, you have a lot of DPS, but this early in the game, DPS is less valuable than burst.
That makes sense.
Finally seeing Crossfire actually go for a dragon and get it.
Yeah, they put a lot of resources into it, but they are going to lose pressure bot side and mid. This turret should go down.
Look at that topside turret taking so much damage. Might be able to get it. Yep, looks like they are going to secure it. And Oxblazer managing to get a nice little bit of damage on there. Crimson Rage is caught.
Crimson Rage taking a little bit of damage. Gonna blow up there, but that's the depth charge onto Vayne. She flashes out of the shockwave. Not going to land. Bladed Dees is going to end up going down, as well as Tristana. But kills could be traded back here. Irelia does pick up one, looking for two. Ignite down onto Irelia. Oxblazer doing work this game. 4 for 1. And that's going to be another 2 turrets.
Artha, I gotta commend you here. That was a fantastic kick because not only did he kick very important target, he successfully kicked Cornelius. He kicked Cornelius in the middle of rocket jump. He interrupted the rocket jump with it, so he kicked her out of her only defensive ability. And ripped this tower. Now, that was a very one-sided fight. Sure, we did see a little bit of a return kill coming out from Fully Noited, but at the same time, FaZe Clan came back in and got a kill as well, so it just kind of... it wasn't really worth. Lost 2 towers for it.
Not at all. 21:30 on the clock, and about 6.5k in the lead.
Yeah, but that 6.5k is something they've built only just now. They were actually barely ahead. They were only about half 1,000 ahead a few minutes ago. So they managed to get that back with his towers.
EPG kind of just taking what they want from the jungle before they leave.
That's okay. Oh, goodbye, Artha.
Cornelius. Oh, that's going to be a kill picked up for Cornelius. I wasn't actually sure he was going to make that.
Well, he does have his Infinity Edge now, so he can actually out-trade Lee Sin very hard. It just so happens that Lee Sin had kick last time, and this time he doesn't.
Ooh, that's going to be the anchor toss.
Crimson not quite doing what he wanted. Was hoping to get a little bit more damage on it, but it was a tank. Oh,
that's a fully noted.
That's a fully noted. You don't want to be here anymore. You should probably leave.
The rest of EPG gonna back off.
Kind of a lull. We do see though, if you look briefly at the items again. I was talking about, I mean, you jokingly said it, but I'm being quite literal that Tainted Legacy is basically just copying Ryze's build. And at this point, he basically will be, because he's got, they have the same boots, they both got Aroa, and they got the tier. But the difference is that the tier on Oxblazer is now a Seraph's Embrace, because guess what? He stacks it pretty fast, and you haven't had the gold to buy your Seraphs.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Tainted Legacy, but that's going to be a bladed very low. He's going to repel up, but first kill going to go over to Crossfire. Vayne on the backside dealing a lot of damage. That's going to be 2 more picked up.
Goodbye, Trash Waifu.
Yeah, Trash Waifu going to go down, and that should be an inhibitor turret, if not the Baron.
So I liked the Milky Way Vayne play there. He managed to burn down Fully Noited, just completely ignored everything else.
Ooh, Artha going very low. Rocket jump towards Artha, but he should be fine. Turret does go down. 3 seconds on Bladed Thesis.
The first inhibitor falling in about 24 minutes here, and not the earliest inhibitor we've ever seen, but can still come back from it, although normally you aren't missing so many towers when the inhibitor goes down that early.
Ooh, Artha has to be a little careful here of the Baron Rush. Only 24 minutes into the game, but
it is possible that they could do a Baron Rush, but
yeah,
it'd be very dangerous. Especially because their team is behind, so if they get caught with their pants down, they're basically dead. Oxblazer clearing a little bit of wards. Looks like they're wanting to put a little bit of vision onto this Baron side. They do want to be able to get this, but I'm not so sure that it's going to be on the horizon anytime soon unless somebody decides they want to push out bot some more, because bot's going to keep pushing in. Like, if you look at the bot side right now, there's actually they're a melee minion down. So while, okay, yeah, sure, Cornelius pushed that off and fully noted, you're dead.
Yeah, fully noted, completely caught out. That's going to be the Winter's Bite, locking him up. And he's going to go down. Going to give that over to FaZe Clan.
I like the thought of trying to Blade Surge over, maybe save yourself, but you Blade Surged on a FaZe Clan. He's going to kill you. Artha managing to keep people... Ooh, a fantastic dodge of the Cocoon there with the Shockwave. The Resonating Strike, rather.
Baron is going to go very low, under 3,000 health. EPG should be able to pick this one up. Bladed Thesis going to get locked down. That's the Shockwave, though, picking up 1 kill. You're having to flash out. Cornelius dealing a lot of damage, but Milky Way trading back, and Tainted Legacy just lost all of his health, and that's going to be Cornelius going down.
The range increase from Rapid Fire Cannon just destroying him. And one thing to say, that was actually very well played from Milky Way. Once again, he managed to push 3 people away from him. As an AD carry, they were that scared of him.
Yeah. And that should be EPG looking towards the end of this game here. Pushing down these Nexus turrets. Gonna be their second win of this series.
If there's ever a time to do something, now is it. Oh, goodbye.
Fully noted, goes in, gets the Ignite down. However, Lee Sin still on the Nexus. It's going very low. Vayne picks up 2 more kills, and that's going to be the game. 26:43 on the clock. Very well played.
Well played, and congratulations to EPG, Ethereum Gaming. You guys will continue on next week into the semifinals against, what was it, Soul 7? Soul 7 next week. Once again, guys, go ahead and do your outro.
Phenomenal games. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the games tonight. If be sure to check out HP5v5 subreddit if you have not already. We have many more games to come, so stick around. Declabase, do you have anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, just fantastic games, guys. Make sure that you check out, particularly during the week. We have started doing very often now, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're going to be doing weeknight in-house games. They will be streamed if we can help it. We're going to try and stream them as much as we can after 7 o'clock Eastern Time. That's 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Central, and, well, if you're on the Pacific Coast, 4 o'clock. So, guys, it's been a pleasure casting for you. It's been a pleasure casting with you, Small Dog, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.